Hey man, this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and we got a few things on the table here, and all these things on the table here have been omitted from my baggage package. And I'm trying to make this backpack to where it's universal. I'm trying to add things, take things away, this, there, or the other, and give suggestions. The reason I basically took away the two Surefire flashlights, of course, this is a Minimus headlamp with a red filter on it, and then the CR123 type battery flashlight, is just because a lot of people have issues with the CR123 type battery. So I'm trying something else. I'm trying a double A version. I'm going to show you that here in a second. The reason I took out the fat wood is because we ain't out in the woods, boys, and I really don't need it. I have other ignition sources, so that's just dead weight, dead this, there, the other. The reason I took out this basic thing, this farmer knife, was because it has a metal exterior, aluminum, and it pulls the heat away from my hand. And if your hands have been frozen as many times as mine have been frozen in different situations, because you're there, you can't move, which means you can't generate heat. And you just get really cold really quick. That metal taking that heat out of your hand sucks. And then we've got of course, the black Victorinox two-bladed knife, which you have the serrated sheepfoot blade, and you have your penknife blade there. And I'm basically going to run you through real quick what they got replaced with and why. I'm going to set those over there really quick. And then there's been some other additions also into the pack, and I'll try to roll through those. Literally, after spending time with millions of people, because I feel most comfortable when I am around a few 100,000 or a million people, just because that gives me some sense of anonymity. I still find people that have Pals webbing, Molly attachments, whatever, to be quite brain fuzzled, but that's okay. I'm still trying to make it work. I have added a watch to my pack. Why was this? Was because I was in some situations where at like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, I really needed to see what time it was, and there was no illumination. So I put this watch, which this watch is from County-Com. It's probably not one that they make anymore because of the whatever style crown that is. They probably have the more conventional crown nowadays. But it has the Seiko automatic movement. It doesn't have a date feature. It has is the new Seiko, which is a 28.8 beats per hour movement, similar to the Swissetta 2824-2, and of course, very solid construction. We have it on a Zulu type strap, which gives infinite adjustability depending on whether your wrist swells, this, there, or the other. Plus, it's relatively, compared to a metallic bracelet, is a good option. Of course, I went back to the old standby because of simple things. If you are out in the woods, okay, and you are out in the wilderness, man, and there are lots of them there softage type, that there wood, man, where you can cut across, man, and you got that there, man, you gonna cut something out, boy. You gonna pull out that there knife, boy. You gonna cut it on that there cutting board or something like that, boy. That's a really great thing. In the real world, especially my world, unfortunately, I'm around a lot of granite, a lot of marble, a lot of really hard surfaces, stainless steels, and the ability to cut things like moleskin, like coming in there 2-inch wide top rolls, baby, and cut them accurately is really dependent on you having a pair of good skizzers. You gotta have them good skizzers, boy, and make it work. Because it, of course, cuts against itself, So This set, of course, with that there pen knife, which I keep beating the hell out of, this Victorinox Spirit is actually the one that went back into the pack after the other one, without the skizzers, failed to do what it was supposed to do. Now, where are we at now, boy? Boy, baby. Of course, man. We got that there. Whew, yeah, their package, baby. And we still have, of course, our sanitation type gear on the exterior, because this isn't, you're not going into a battle with this, even though it looks like it probably could, but it wouldn't go well. Of course, we have our first aid kit, everything else in here. That's really redundant, I guess. But here's what we changed out, boy. These are the flashlights that are in it. Now, these are two Surefire Outdoorsman E2L AA flashlights with the more modern and current layout with the KEIB top head, man. You gotta have that there KEIB top head, man. And what that offers you is, it offers you the ability to go from 5 lumens up to 115. Now you're going to get about 8 hours on high, and you're going to get around 100 hours with it on low. And of course, these take the AA battery, which is why the designation, and then of course they have lithium batteries in them. Why? Because they're lighter and because they're very shelf stable. They deal with a lot of environments, cold, hot, this, there, or the other rather well. And this one comes with the standard type lanyard on them, and this is one, oh, this is a standard type lanyard too. Well, I thought I was going to bring out one of them there flashlights that I made that there lanyard type device for, boy. But it just didn't work out, did it? So we have 5 lumens for 100 hours per flashlight, or 115 lumens on high. Now, of course, are they the brightest flashlights? No, but Surefire is a corporation that I know, and I've used their equipment for a lot of years, and am very happy with it. Now, what else have we done, man, to this there package type situation? Really not that much. With the addition of the watch, changing over to AA batteries as far as these Surefires, and I think these got discontinued, which is why they shipped me 2 of these things. And then changing over the multi-tool to something that's a little more EDC friendly. That's the basics of what has really changed, man. And we're gonna throw it over there, man. But the one knife that has changed in the pack, that is, of course, one of my Swiss Army knives, because everyone knows I really like the Victorinox company and some of the things they do. I switched over to a one-hand Trekker. Now, of course, and this is a non-serrated version, we've seen that I went through the rant on the other video, but that's just the way it is, man. You got to go through that there rantage type situation. And of course, we have the locking pry bar basically there, if you want to pry something up. You got a blade, you got all those other things. The one thing that really sucks about this particular knife, when you compare it to the Farmer, is the Farmer, which I have covered up, hidden, and everything else, has a has the awl that comes out from up here, man, and it's out, and it's a good striker, man, for that there ferrocerium rod, boy. Where this one basically is not as good a striker, because you can't get it as close, possibly, but it's really redundant. This is a pretty good ferro rod. It's about, you know, it's got a couple little bit, man, about 3-inch rod. But the reason I went to this as opposed to it, because you can always use the saw, and saws are something I use all the time. You can always use the back of the saw as a scraper, and I'm not going to do it right now because, of course, my pack's right there. But the saw will actually strike it also. And the one-hand trekker's got a really long saw in relation to other types of things. So I've got a saw here. I've got a saw on the multi-tool. I've got this, there, or the other. I have a one-hand opening knife here. Of course, I've got my Emerson knife that's also a one-hand opening, and also you can wave it. And then you've got, you know, a lot of other options. So basically this pack, and it's going to be tool heavy, okay? Of course, we've got the one-hand trekker there, and we are bending our lid. We've got the Matt Will Go knife from Buck. We have the Emerson CQC8, and then in our smaller kit, we have the Leatherman Squirt PS4, which this is a representation of what is in that. Which this also has a few other features, this, there, or the other, but this is our backup, so that really doesn't count. But as I said, this is for multiple people, multiple situations. You can take one tool out of this and have basic redundancy. And that's my rant for today. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches. These are some of the things that I have adapted into this pack. Now, does having two handheld lights make up for the fact that we lost a headlamp? No, but it's an option. And it's a choice. I went with the AA, of course, because I can easily purchase AA batteries in that their lithium type configuration, man. And have a battery that's going to be very stable in the trunk of a car, in the whatever environment you're going to throw it into. But in a car or in a situation like that, it's pretty much about the most extreme any battery has to go through, which is why batteries for the front that their front engine, man, are designed the way they are. So it's going to have to deal with quite a bit more varied climactic conditions than what you're going to have to do as an individual. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches. These are some of the changes that I brought into it, some of the additions. As far as a watch that has really good luminescence and gives me that option of being able to see at 3 and 4 in the morning. Of course, you could go with the Seiko Monster. You could do a lot of different things, and there are other people that want to talk about that all day. I really don't care. But this is what's working for me. It's Guns, Knives, and Watches. Have a Merry Christmas. Peace out.